How are we doing, guys? SmartEntity here. You've asked for, and now is here my complete trading guide for February 2016. Wow, can't believe it's been literally over a year since my last trading guide. And like I said to you guys, I'm back and I am going to be more dedicated to Warframe and releasing regular videos. And we're going to start off the main releases with a complete trading guide. Now, a lot have changed, a lot haven't changed. We're going to talk about the main things first. So to get right into it, let's talk about primed mods. Obviously, we all know about the Barracuda crap that's been happening recently, and to be fair, none of us really know what's going to happen with that. Obviously, two things. One, Barracuda doesn't come back. Two, it comes back with a change. And three, it just comes back the way it always has been. At this stage, trading prices have not really changed based on Barracuda's possible leaving or reemergence. So we're going to go right into it. So basically, prime mods. Now, for pretty much all prime mods, if it's unranked, you're looking at 100 platinum. Usually when Barracuda first comes with a prime mod and he is still on the relay, you're pretty much looking at around 50 platinum to purchase or sell. But once he's gone for a few weeks, the unranked price, regardless of how handy or not handy it is pretty much 100 plat. Now the reason for that is because even the more useful mods, things like flow, continuity, they have appeared a couple times, so most people that are hardcore enough to play the game, they have had it already. And for those of you that aren't hardcore enough, the non-prime version does just as well a job. So people usually don't want to spend more than 100 plat for an unranked mod. Now, as far as max prime mods goes, they pretty much going anywhere from 500 plus minus 100 plat-ish. So you total kind of 400 to 600 platinum for a max prime mods. Now, on the market, you're always going to see someone trying to sell it for 700 to 1000 platinum. They're always going to put that on the market. You can just ignore them. They're not going to sell it. You can always find someone who is willing to sell it between the 400 to 600 platinum mark. And that's just a fact, because again, a lot of these mods have came out for a long time, and especially with the fact that legendary cores are part of the sortie rewards, granted a very, very small chance of actually getting it. They are there, and because in Warframe you got millions of players, a lot of players are getting it. So, all in all, maxing these mods aren't as legendary as it once upon a time was. Now, on top of that, obviously we are getting the 25 times 5. Wait, let me rephrase that. We are getting the Rare 5 times 25 cores, as well as Rare 5 times 50 cores as part of the sortie rewards, in addition to the Rare 5 times 25 rare cores as part of the current event reward for the 5-way endurance shadow depth. So pretty much those cores aren't that rare, and overall prices aren't as high as they used to be. Now, as far as the rare ones go, so let's change this up a bit. Okay, can't do that. So basically, your things like heavy caliber, narrow-minded, blind rage, those mods at unranked prices, because they are still corrupt and because the tables are pretty diluted, it's pretty hard to get. You're pretty much looking at around 20 plat for unranked heavy caliber, blind rage, narrow-minded, and you're pretty much looking at anywhere from 250 to 400 platinum for the max mod. So yeah, again, things like heavy caliber, your blind rage, as well as your narrow-minded. Now there are quite a few other corrupt mods out there. Obviously, most of them are not really worth mentioning. They're not really that rare, but we're actually gonna bring that up. So again, narrow-minded over here, and blind rage over here. So your rank 10 rare corrupt mods. Now, as far as the rank 10 uncommons, I wish there was an easier way of actually searching this up, but so things like your the smart searching Serration in Warframe. So things like your Serration, your Hornet Strike, those pretty popular uncommons. They're going anywhere from literally 150 to 200 plat. Very occasionally, for some reason, you can find it a bit cheaper, but anything more than 200 plat is a bit of a joke, and you can ignore them. And for your commons, now the commons probably have had the biggest change. I think mainly because, again, because of Triton, Uranus, how those rare 5 times 5 are dropping like crazy. Maxing these common rank 10s like Vitality and Redirection have become really, really easy. Prices have pretty much dropped somewhere around the 80 to 120 plat. Occasionally you can find it a bit cheaper if you wait in chat long enough, but generally 80 to 120 is your norm. Again, sometimes you see people selling for 150 or even more. Those people are idiots, you can ignore them. Now, obviously there are a lot of other sort of maxed rank 10 mods out there, but they're generally not as popular. As far as your Sentinel mods go, they pretty much go for around the same price. So your Sentinel, Redirection, Vitality, Steel Fiber, those kind of things. So I believe those are pretty much all the rank 10s that I want to talk about.
All mods accounted for, operators. I have not taken any.
That's good. Yeah, overall I can't really think of any other max rank mods worth mentioning. Basically, if a mod is not ranked, doesn't go up to rank 10, if its max mod is rank 5, then the value of it is pretty much not worth mentioning, because I think most of us know that to go up a rank, it required twice the amount of fusion power as it did to get to where it was before. So in other words, it pretty much takes twice the amount of mods to get to rank 3 as they did to get to rank 2 from rank 1. So it takes twice the amount of mods to get to rank 10 as they did to get to rank 9 from rank 8. Alrighty, so next let's talk about these event mods. Now obviously the biggest change with mod prices are event mods, because from time to time they come off exclusivity from the event, and once that happens their mod prices drop significantly. So we're not going to talk about Zero Crisis because that came out ages ago, and pretty much all the mods on that one, so your Toxic, Dual Stat mods are pretty much 5 plat each. Now Tetraderm mods. So these mods probably got the biggest changes from time to time, again and again. So it was part of the event, it was part of the second event, it was part of Barricadier, and now it's in Hive Sabotage missions. But as far as current prices go, I would say of all the elemental dual stat mods, these are the highest prices, just because people hate playing those Hive Sabotage. And these mods, so electricity, dual stat mods, are pretty much 20 to 25 plat each, with your high voltage probably going for 25 plat. The rest, Jolt, Voltaic Strike, and Shell Shock, pretty around 20 plat each. Now, the next lot of mods are pretty much your Fire and Ice dual stat mods. So those are obviously found in spy missions, and they are a bit more tolerable than Hive Sabotage. So those are pretty much going around 10 to 15 plat each, depending on which one it is. Rim rounds, one of the more popular ones, or one of the more higher demand ones, I should say, are probably going for around, I would say, 15 plat. Your more worthless ones, so things like your Vicious Frost, for example, is pretty going around 10 plat. Now, Gatecrash mods. This is one of the most controversial range of mods. So that's obviously your at max rank 120% extra slash damage mods for each of your weapon types. So we've pretty much seen obviously the mods from the event, and then the mods were once again released from another event with a very low chance of getting it. And then Fan Fusillade was on Barricadier, and that was pretty much the end of it we've ever heard. So because of all of the changes, Fan Fusillade is around 100 to 150 plat on the market right now. Buzzkill, obviously the melee mod, which is in highest demand, is going around quite literally anywhere from 500 to 700 plat. Anything out of that range is a bit of a joke. And to be honest, even 5 to 700 plat is a bit of a joke to me. But there are people still buying it, so just reporting on prices, that's what it is. The other two mods for shotgun and pistol, you just don't really see people buying or selling, and the reason for that is because obviously buyers want to buy it at a cheap price, and sellers want to sell it at a very high price because they've been exclusive for a long time. But because they aren't that useful, buyers don't really want to buy it. So take a pick. I'll say around 200 plat each for the shotgun and pistol slash mod. So after all that, we obviously got the puncture mods. Now the puncture mods, as far as I'm aware, have not ever came off exclusivities ever since the event. And because of that, their prices are pretty damn high. But added the puncture mod, again, with these mods, you have to really look at what weapons out there are available to actually benefit from these mods, right? And added the puncture mod, I would say only piercing caliber, the rifle one, is actually worth something. So people are pretty much going anywhere from 300 to 600 plat for that particular mod. The rest of the mods, I would say around 200 plat each. But again, it's one of those things where buyers don't want to pay too high, sellers don't want to sell too low, so it doesn't really get traded too often. Now the final lot is obviously your impact set from False Prophet. Now the impact set are, I would say, probably the lowest in demand generally. It's in fairly high demand right now, high-ish, I suppose, just because it is from the False Prophet. So I guess the most recent event out of all of these ones, minus Shadow Depth, and obviously none of the mods have came off exclusivity yet. But generally, there's not a lot of good impact weapons in the game, and for that reason, we don't really see it, being demanded too often. Now these days, I am selling the impact mods for 200 platinum each. They are selling fairly well. Obviously, some people try to bargain with you, other people will try to trade with you, but I've been sticking to 200 plat non-negotiable, and they have been selling all 4 mods. So that is the price I'm pretty much going to put on them right now. Obviously, in the near future, depending on whether they come out of exclusivity or not, their prices may increase or decrease depending on time. And finally, the current event, Shadow Depth. Now, I didn't really want to talk about prices over here just because these prices are going to change dramatically within the next couple of weeks. But since this is a complete trading guide, we are going to talk about prices as of today. Now, quite literally, the only useful, and I mean really useful, high cost mod here is Arcane Scope. There are a few good melee mods out there, but it always comes back to why bring a knife to a gunfight kind of thing. So Arcane Scope is definitely the most popular mod. When this event first came out with these mod releases, this was going literally around 150 to 200 platinum. Since then, they did increase the drop chance, so this has pretty much decreased to around 100 plat plus minus, your 50. So, very occasionally you see someone selling for 50 plat, and there's always going to be those selling for 150, but 100 plat plus minus will be your average. Most of the common mods pretty much going 5 to 10 plat because they are dropping like crazy. The uncommon mods you pretty much can get anywhere from 10 to 20 plat depending on which one it is. Again, there's a couple good melee ones, but personally I don't really use it. I know a lot of people out there, some really, really hardcore players that know what they're doing. They know at the high level you need to use ranged weapons. That's all I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to go to individual mod prices because, again, their price is just going to change, within the next couple of weeks or so. Finally, a quick chat about Syndicate. Now, Syndicate mods obviously haven't changed too much recently. In fact, we haven't got any new releases for quite a long time. But as far as Syndicate mods goes, they're pretty much going around 10 plat each, mainly because they've been around for a long time. Most people have a lot of rep to spare, and a lot of people who wanted the mods have got them already. Obviously, we keep on getting mods, so there's a few that don't have it. It's basically a large seller market for a small buyer market. With competition, they're going around 10 platinum each. With these weapons, again, I don't really know why, but weapons are going around 20 to 30 plat each. Which, if you look at the rep, doesn't make sense, but that's what it comes down to. Now, as far as prime parts go, before we had 2 categories, the crap stuff and the newly released stuff. Now we have 3 categories, so that is your crap stuff, newly released stuff, and stuff that have been voted. So, pretty much the hot stuff that's happening right now are your Trinity Prime systems, so you can still farm for those. That is by far the most popular, and that one goes for anywhere from 50 to 100 platinum. On average, you can quite easily get it for 80 plat, to be fair. The next most popular one, for whatever reason, is Victor's Prime Receiver. That particular part is still going strong at 50 plat. Obviously, from time to time, you can get it from 35, but 50 plat seems to be the norm setting price. Next to that, you're looking at your Do Karma handle. I don't understand why, because that is available on ODD. Okay, it's rotation C, but it's ODD, so you don't really need to farm for those keys. And Do Karma handle is still going around for around 30 to 40 plat each. Occasionally you can find it at 20 plat, but 30 to 40 plat is per handle is the norm. Now, minus stars, other prime parts, 5 to 10 plat is a norm. If someone's desperate, you can squeeze another 5, so 15 plat out of them, but the normal price, 5 to 10 plat. And then we talk about the voted items. So, for example, now, as far as voted products go, the weapons doesn't actually cost that much more, so we're not going to talk about them. But the Warframes do cost a lot more. For example, when Frost Prime got voted, parts were pretty much going on average 100 plat. Frost Prime set was going from 300 to 400 platinum. Right now, the hottest voted prime is Ember. So Ember, on my last 100,000 platinum announced video, you can see I sold an Ember Prime system for 100 plat. The entire Ember set is going around 300 to 400 platinum, obviously with system and the main BP going around 100 platinum, quite high. The helm and chassis usually aren't in as high demand, but when you sell it in the set, you can sell at a higher price. Now I do want to mention there's a misconception between buyers and sellers. Sellers think when they sell at a set they can get it at a higher price, which is the truth. Buyers think when they buy it at a set they can get at a lower price, which is not the truth, right? So if you are a buyer, don't think because you're buying multiple items in a set you're getting a lower price. You're actually not. You're actually getting a higher price. And if you're a seller, you're selling at a set, you do have the right to ask for a higher price, because I guess you're saving the buyer the trouble of finding each part. Now that's pretty much all I want to say about prime parts. Overall, there's not that much of a, I guess, margin as far as buying and selling goes. Now I do want to make one thing very clear. Sometimes people think I sell high, buy low, which is the truth. I've never denied it, and I'm quite proud of it, right? But what I don't actually do is I don't usually buy low and then sell high the next second, right? What I usually do is I buy low, for example, during an event or during Barracuda at a low price, and I keep the product for 2 to 3 months, and then I sell at a high price. That's how I work. I'm not ashamed of it. It's what I do. I'm happy for people to know about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can call it rip-off, you can call it business. It is what it is, right? The way I see it is, it's just business. I put it in the investment, I hold it for you, and then later on I sell it, make a profit. It's rightfully deserved. But having said that, if I buy something at say 25 plat, and if someone in trade is asking or willing to pay 100 plat for it, you can bet your ass I'm going to sell it the next second for 100 plat, right? I am an opportunist, but I'm definitely not someone who are going to trade and try to type in buying plat part, prime parts, 1 plat per part kind of thing. I have done it once or twice just to see how it works, but I don't do it, not because it's not profitable, but because it's a waste of time. Alrighty, so after that, the other main thing which I guess is worth mentioning are your Prisma weapons. Now, the thing with Barracuda, again, we don't know at this stage what his deal is. So your Prisma weapons, your Machete Wraith, Prova Vandal, Maradetron, those kind of things. As far as prices today, you can quite easily buy or sell them for 100 platinum. Occasionally, you see someone try to sell at a higher price. You can ignore them because there will always be people that sell at 100 plat these days, and there will be always people that's willing to buy it for 100 plat these days. But depending on how Barracuda goes, I would imagine in the next couple of weeks we're either gonna see a significant increase in price, or we're going to see no change. I'm banking on no change because I did sell all my excess Prismas for 100 plat in the past couple of days. And finally, a topic that I don't really like to talk about too much, just because I found the whole idea to be a bit stupid, but it's basically around these Arcane products. Now, Arcane helmets, I mean, it literally comes down to what people are wanting to pay and what people are wanting to sell. Generally, 100 platinum per Arcane helmet is not unreasonable for these exclusive ones. Obviously, with the more rare ones, you know, with your I don't remember what it's called, but basically the one that give Rhino speed, the Vanguard, I believe, you know, something like this one can go for 300 platinum. That's not unreasonable. But other than that, the problem with Arcane is they don't actually give that much of a boost. Yes, the ones for things like Nyx, for example, do give a bit of a boost in that you can use max fleeting expertise to achieve that 75% efficiency and ignore streamline, so it gives you an extra mod slot. But other than that, you know, it's really not worth mentioning too much. Obviously, you can get arcane fragments from raids. I mean, from this, you can say I don't play raid too much, just because there aren't that much of a profit margin with raids. It costs a lot of time. You don't really get much out of it. And these arcanes, you know, to get a maxed out arcane equipment, you need 10 of them. I mean, are you kidding me? 10 of them? Like, no. Sorry, no. But having said that, as far as trading goes, you can pretty much get the arcanes, you know, anywhere from, I guess, 10 to 50 plat each, depending on how rare it is. So something well, not useful, I should say, like Guardian, or very common like Guardian, you can pretty get around 10 plat. For the more rare ones, honestly, I think Grace is quite a rare one. You probably need to pay a bit more, around 50 plat. But even then, you know, you need you need 500 platinum, so 10 arcane grace to get a full load of equipment. And once you do, it's not actually that useful. So why would you waste your time, right? So I don't actually bother with the arcanes hands down. One other thing I want to quickly mention is these focus lenses. Now, I want to make this very clear. You can buy a greater lens for 40 platinum in the D market, right? So in that sense, if you're trying to buy these lenses from trade, you should not be spending more than 5 platinum each. And if you're selling at 5 platinum each, if you found a buyer, congrats, but most likely you're wasting your time. In fact, that's one of the reasons why DE put greater lens in the market as an exclusive market item. Well, it's not exclusive because you can buy the blueprint and make it yourself, but you can't trade greater lenses. So one of the reasons they did that is because they're trying to encourage players just to pay plat to the DE market, and not worry about these minor lenses. Just pay 40 plat per greater lens. And you know that comes back to player can trade platinum in the trade channel, and obviously they'll need to buy plat from DE to do that. But when they trade in trade channel, the platinum still circulates around. Sorry, I just read this part. I need 1k plat. Can someone give it to me? I can give you a cupcake made by love. So what do you do when this happens? You put them on ignore, right? Okay, so you put them on ignore. Now that's done. Back to trading. Sorry, just had to do that. So obviously, once you spend plat in the DE market, that plat doesn't circulate in the community anymore. That goes to DE, and once that's done, that's when DE, you know, actually makes their profit, right? That's when they actually complete the contract and make their profit. I'm not going to talk about the recent Barricadier. You can see that in my Smart Tool Barricadier episode. But again, that's one of the reasons why Barricadier had those unreasonably priced potato as well as booster items, is to encourage players to buy those from the DE market. Alright, so that's the majority of the complete trading guide. The last section is basically just fragments of individual mods here and there. One of the things that I just never understood what the deal with it is these stances. Now, stances, when you get a new release, they go around 100 plat on the market easy, especially if it's a rare. And the problem I see with that is you usually get one stance per weapon, one weapon per stance, because most of the newer release ones, for example, the Destrada, the Raper, have one stance, and obviously that stance is just for that one weapon. So I just don't understand why anyone would pay, you know, upwards of 100 plat for a single stance for one weapon that's not even that good, and you're gonna put in your arsenal and never use it again after you rank it to, you know, 30 kind of thing. But you know, I don't know. People do crazy things, and it's not my job to criticize that. It's my job to report to you guys the cost figures. So newly released rare stuns, 100 plat. Once it's been down for a month or two, it goes down to pretty much 10 plat, right? It's just the way it is. In fact, it goes so low that it's just, undesired anymore. By far, the most high in demand stuns right now is Temple Royale. It's going for basically 200 platinum. You can quite easily sell that for 200 platinum. Some people will try to offer you 180 and try to ignore you after that if you don't sell. But trust me, don't worry about it. Save it. You can sell it for 200 platinum easy. Next to Temple Royale is basically your
Everything in orders, operator?
very much
Is
so.
that a pun?
So next to Temple Royale, I would say it's pretty much Astral Twilight. The problem with Astral Twilight is, yes, it's a pretty rare one, but at the same time, people don't really use glaives too much. And obviously, Temple Royale is for heavy blades, so I would imagine things like your War, the arguably coolest looking melee in the game, War drop from the Shadow Stalker is obviously using Temple Royale. That's pretty why it's so high in demand. But other than that, most of the other ones people just don't really talk about anymore. Stances in general, 10 plat, done. Beyond stances, obviously you got your Nightmare mods. Now Nightmare mods, you got quite a large selection. I'm just going to talk about on top of my mind because I can't be bothered searching for it. So things like Armor Agility, Blaze, Hammer Shot, those are so damn rare. You're looking at 1 or 2% drop rate. You can quite easily sell those for 15 plat. Similarly, you can buy them for 15 plat as well. Next to that, you got your useful ones. So things like Lethal Torrent, which is actually very useful. You can go for about 10 plat. All the other ones, you pretty much look at 5 to 10 plat because they're not that great. Things like, for example, for some reason, people like to buy Wildfire. When I say people like to, I don't mean it's that popular. I just mean it's actually one of the ones that people do buy. I've actually never understood why people buy Wildfire, but Wildfire, yeah, you can go for 10 plat, that's fine. Oh, here we go. Want to sell Hornet Strike, 500 plat, PM me, ignored. In fact, this is one of the things I really encourage you doing. It's controversial. Feel free to leave in the comments below if you don't agree with this. But I really recommend just ignoring people with unreasonable prices. So actually, you know what? This wasn't intended, but since we're doing this live, I'm going to do this right now. So those are pretty much all the plat prices. We're going to talk about trade chat now. It's so important to be able to use trade chat efficiently to make good deals. So for people that put down paragraphs like this, want to sell, yada yada yada, they're ripping you off. And when you see prices like Heavy Caliber 450, Temple Royale 350, what did I just say? Heavy Caliber 250 to 400 plat, Temple Royale 200 plat. If they're doing this, what do? Ignore, right? What this effectively does is you will never have to see these big paragraphs again, and it allows you to see the better trades more often. And we all know, people like to spam trade. So you get rid of those, it helps a lot. Oh, again, want to sell, big paragraph, Victor set, 160 plat, Temple Royale 350. What the hell, man? Ignored. Another one. Want to sell. Da, 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 da. Now, this is one of those ones that I generally don't ignore. What this guy is obviously trying to do is trying to make a profit. In fact, we're going to do an experiment. Now, this is someone that if you really like ignore, you can ignore. So we're going to do a profit because I bet you he's going to give you unreasonable prices. So we're going to look at Prime Heavy Trauma. Oh. To be right now, I can't even remember if it did put Prime. It might not even be Prime, but anyway, we'll see. So FYI, Prime Heavy Trauma on rank 100 Platinum is the average. Corrosive Projection, even though it's literally one of the best auras, and obviously auras don't show all the time because the game is so old, 10 plat. So if he give me a unreasonable price for them, then he'll be going on the ignore list. Obviously, when I do trade, I don't check if people are legit and put them ignore list. With this, I usually just ignore. But for the purpose of this video, I'll show you guys why people that do this usually are not worth talking to. Okay, obviously this guy is ignoring me, so we're not going to worry about that. And to be fair, we're quite old on trade. So we'll refresh the new one. And since we are here, I might as well utilize this, but okay, here we go. Now the problem with me showing this is because I've put so many people on ignore already. I'm not getting that many big paragraphs because I'm very vigilant. With trade, you know, it's a time-consuming process, and to really make effective use of your time, you really have to put a lot of people on ignore. And because I've done that so much already, I don't have that many big paragraphs. But anyway, we'll try this. So, okay. As a heads up, body count, hydraulics crosshairs, those are the current event mods. Those are dropping like crazy, right? So again, normally I wouldn't do this. I'll just keep on scrolling. But for the purpose of this particular trade video, I'll show you guys why people like this are usually not worth talking to. So we're going to ask the price of, oh, these ones. Wow. We're going to do one of the Zero Crisis mod. So this one should be 5 plat. And we're going to do this one as well. Now this one, because it's current event mod and it's a common, honestly, 5 plat. If they ask for 10, it's not unreasonable. But we're going to just see what he says. Okay, so he asked for offers. Dude, are you kidding me? Those are shit mods, right? You're going to waste my time and your time asking for offers? Dude, be confident. Just say a price for God's sakes. So again, remember what I said? 5 plat each would be reasonable. Let's see what he said. So you want to sell me a non-prime heavy trauma under corrosive for 30 plat? Again, corrosive is 10 plat, heavy trauma 5 plat. You want to sell me both of those for 30 plat? Go get lost, man. Come on. Okay, so now this person may or may not reply back, so we're going to leave that for now. Again, normally I don't do this because it's wasting time. I just want to show you guys why these people are not worth talking to by doing this experiment. So we're not going to waste too much time on this. We're going to wait for another guy that do a big paragraph. It could be a while. Generally, I would recommend, you don't have to put them on ignore, but I definitely recommend not reading anyone that put more than 2 lines, right? If they put more than 2 lines and they put prices next to it, okay, it depends. But if they put more than 2 lines like this one and they don't put prices on it, don't ever read, don't ever talk to them because they're wasting your time. And let's do an experiment here, just in case this one doesn't reply back. Alright, remember what I said. So these do stat toxic stat mods should be about 5 plat each because they are so damn popular. They literally should not go above 5 plat. So we'll see what he says. If he says offer, again, he's just wasting your time. Are you really going to negotiate with me over something that's worth 5 plat? If he says something like, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, this time I'm not going to go 2 plat each. I'll just say 5 plat each. And see what he says. Because that is what the price is. I know when you guys look at this video, you guys may be on YouTube. Well, you will be on YouTube. I really recommend putting the resolution on as high as you can make it, ideally 1080p, just so you can read the chat. Basically, so this guy put a massive paragraph on, I think, how many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Among them are Toxic Barrage and Malignant Force. So I've asked him what the price on Malignant Force and Toxic Barrage is. He said make an offer. I said 5 plat each. And then I said, I don't know, what do you want for them? And then he put, I'll sell for 5 plat each if you buy something else from me. If not, borrow for 15 plat. Okay, so to be fair, this guy isn't unreasonable. So I'm just going to put never mind then. And then I'm going to leave him. So to be fair, this guy isn't unreasonable. But he's just wasting time because he literally has nothing good to sell, right? And he's asking me to buy more. At a higher price, yada yada yada. Oh god, whatever. So I put never mind then, and then he put unstable charge, and then think about it. It's like, guy, dude, come on, man. Ugh. As a rule of thumb, anything that is less than 50 plat and they try to negotiate with you, just leave it. Guys, there are literally millions of players in Warframe, right? If you lose one buyer slash seller, there are millions, well, quite literally hundreds that's on at the same time that you can negotiate with, right? You don't need to negotiate with anyone that you are trying to buy or sell if it's less than 50 plat. Don't worry about it. Go to the next person. That's a bit of a, I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I'm obviously doing this live. I don't know where I'm going to get someone that's unreasonable or reasonable. But that's a bit of a quick trading hint, live action that you guys can see. In fact, tell me what you guys think about this. If you guys do want to see me doing live trading, I can do that. But as a heads up, there are some really exciting times where we do really good trades, and there are those times where you sit down for half an hour and literally nothing happens. So let me know in the comments below, if you guys want to see something like that, because I'm quite happy to do that for you guys. So that's pretty much it. Also, if you can leave in the comments below any other massive areas of trading you want to know about that I haven't discussed right now. One thing that I don't think people are really interested in are Kubro imprints. As a quick rule of thumb, you can sell a Kubro imprint for 20 plat each for just your ordinary ones. Lotus ones can go around 50 to 100 plat each, depending on if it's just Lotus or if it's Lotus, bulky, good color, that kind of stuff. But other than that, I don't think anyone cares about Kubros other than the fact that it's a mastery rank thing majig. Beyond that, let's see what else is there. That's pretty much it, I think. Only last thing that's worth mentioning, I think, is a legendary core price. Legendary core price, 350 plat. I wouldn't pay more for it. And I don't think anyone will be dumb enough to sell it less than 350 plat each. And don't forget, whenever you try to buy a legendary core, you do have to pay 1 million credit for tax, assuming the clan tax is 0. Alright guys, you know what to do. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, so I don't know why you would dislike it, and leave in the comments below if you do want me to talk about anything else. Other than that guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers, bye.